We are at North. It's autonomous transport north of the Netherlands, and we work in the provinces of Groningen, Friesland, and Drenthe. And at this time, we are creating field labs for autonomous mobility. We see autonomous transport as a way of maintaining and improving accessibility and quality of life in shrinkage regions. And today I will take you in our agenda, which means that I will tell you something about at North, an introduction. From the north of the Netherlands, we are working on autonomous transport in air, at rail, at water, on the road. And in a few years, we will start with Hyperloop, so in the tube. What are our main objectives from at North, especially making transport future-proof, and that will improve the accessibility and quality of life in shrinkage regions. We are focusing on public transport and on the first and the last mile solutions. What I saw in the other presentations, also we are applying the 5G technology, and we want to scale up autonomous transport in all 4 domains. Of course, because we work in all 4 domains, we want to exchange knowledge and experience between those, between water, road, air, and rail. Because we see that in some parts, rail is further than autonomous transport on the road. For example, if you have a control room, then you see that air and rail are much further than control rooms on the road. So we want to experience those knowledge and experiences in the domains. The other thing that we want to increase is speed and distance. We want to speed up autonomous transport on the road and in the air. And we want to go further than the current possibilities in the Netherlands. And last of all, and not the one of the most important things is work on business cases. Is autonomous transport a solution? Well, we think that it might be a solution for a couple of things. If you look at trains, then we see that automatic transport operation will lead to more and greater capacity on the same rail. So you don't have to invest in new rail, but you can use the current rail more efficient. We think that autonomous transport can gain more access to rural areas where there is less or currently no public transport. You can think of transport of medical, and then especially through the air. What we also see is that there is a shortage on personnel, as well as in train and bus operations, and also on water. And we see that there is more repetitive work. For example, you look at bike ferries, or sounding boats, or on specific parts of the remise from buses. I don't know the right word yet, but they're the places where they park the buses at night and where they clean up buses. That are some specific parts that you could, which is a lot of repetitive work, and where you can use autonomous transport, especially in the early phase. Well, first of all, we started off with the North Netherlands as a test region, and we saw the need and urgency and opportunities. We see that the population in the northern region will decline, and especially in the rural areas. There will be more elderly people in these areas, and what I've already said is the first and last mile of transport decreases. We saw the north of the Netherlands as a test region, so as one of big field lab, as from 11,000 square kilometers with 2 million inhabitants and a very diverse infrastructure. Especially because we have a lot of infrastructure, but not a very dense population. We thought that autonomous transport would be a relatively low risk factor in this area. But at this moment, we think differently, but I will tell you more in a few slides. Especially if we look at autonomous transport, and we see some added value. We see the problems in the city, for example, parking and infrastructure. And in shrinkage regions, we see problems with accessibility, which also means that the quality of life in cities for traffic and parking, and also in the countryside, gives more and more problems with current logistics and transports. If you look at the public transport costs, because that's our focus, public transport, then we see also a lot of possibilities in this area, and also the gain, the added value in sustainability. So we go for zero emissions, fuel savings. We go to electricity. We go to hydrogen, and that gives a lot of opportunities for autonomous transport. How did we change from a test region to a field lab? First of all, we saw north of the Netherlands as one big field lab, but given the rules and the law in the Netherlands, this is not sustainable for the future. In 2015, our minister of infrastructure said the Netherlands wants to become a test country for self-driving cars. Started off with the first shuttle on public roads in Appelscha in 2016. And we transformed that more and more to a living lab with air, rail, road, and water. We tested more autonomous shuttles in the north of the Netherlands, and there were similar shuttle test drives in the rest of the Netherlands. In 2019, the Dutch government introduced the experimental law, and from that moment we said we would be better off as an area with some field labs, where we can test and scale up our opportunities. So from now, we are working on field labs. We have already 4 field labs in the region. For the air, we have Groningen Airport Eelde. On the road, we have Cernige Campus, which is the university campus of Groningen. On water, we work together with Groningen Seaports in Eemshaven. And on rail, we test automatic train operations from the Fork, which is Groningen, to Buitenpost. And for us, a field lab would be a physical facility with an infrastructure that accommodates the development, testing, research, certification, application of autonomous vehicles in a specific modality. So we work in air, water, rail, road, rail, and tube. Another possibility is using one field lab for 2 or 3 different modalities. For example, on Groningen Airport Eelde, we test as well as drones, but we can also test the speed of autonomous vehicles. And for example, Groningen Seaports, we can test drones, but we can also test harbor facilities, ships, and we can test combinations. For example, using a drone to transport goods to a ship, and vice versa. If we look at the field labs at this moment, you see 4 field labs in the north of the Netherlands. And we are working on other field labs. So there could be more possibilities in the future. Well, if you look at our first lessons, then we have some general lessons we have learned from field labs. First of all, safety. Safety first for everything. That's an opportunity for a field lab instead of a test region. A test region is always on public roads, and in a field lab, we can test in a controlled area. There should be also a unique feature of a location. We always want to have knowledge institutions and research available, and there should be a coherence between modalities. So we want to learn from control room, from the air, and we want to create that we want to use that, for example, in the road. The advantage of the field lab is that we don't work with restrictions, so we can do very complex exemption procedures. We can increase the speed of developments, and we can work certification of modalities. If you look at Groningen Airport Eelde, we see that Groningen Airport Eelde has all the facilities. There is air control. It's the only airport in the Netherlands where there is an exemption for testing with drones. all flight services are available, and we can make a combination between manned and unmanned flights. On Seneca campus and the university campus, we have a 5G lab on site. We can close and adjust the infrastructure. We hardly have any restrictions, and we can test non-approved vehicles, and also validating techniques and procedures. And if you look at the Vork Buitenpost, it's also very good location. It's a rail track from a few kilometers, where we can test automatic train operations on a single track. We test already with passengers. We started off without passengers, but at this moment we are testing with passengers, and we want to increase the capacity on existing rail infrastructure. So this is an example how we worked on the field labs from until now, and now we want to translate that to more concrete and better field labs. Where are we at this moment? If you look at autonomous, then we can drive and fly already accurate routes. But if you look at the road, then we still have a problem with mixed traffic. We're still working on object recognition, and what we see is the driving skills of automated vehicles is too little for interactions like humans. But we are in the prototype phase. We have the RDW, which is our we don't know how they use it in Germany, what the name is, but they test all the vehicles and they certificate vehicles before they can use the public roads. And we work together with them on testing and also driving with autonomous vehicles. And as soon as we have demonstrated there is sufficient safety and assurance for specific environments, then then a test can be carried out on public roads, so at high speed without an operator. At this moment, we are working on a bus, a 50-meter bus, and the autonomous software that we have used on a Twizy is now installed on a large bus, a passenger bus, and we want to test this bus on one of our field labs. So for us, a field lab is needed to simulate the conditions of the public roads and in a safe and verifiable manner. For example, if we look at drones, then this is a small roadmap where we are working on. We are working from Groningen Airport Eelde. Within 4 years, we want to scale up from 20 kilograms to 200 kilograms. We want to transform from electricity to hydrogen. We want to go from 4G to 5G. We want to increase flight time, and we want to fly from one field lab to the other field lab, what you see on the left page and the right page. So how are we working together? We have a program team from 3 provinces, Friesland, Groningen, and Drenthe. We have an extended program team, which also consists of Arriva, which is our public transport company, Groningen Seaports. We have 5G Lab, ProRail, and we have Drone Hub and RoboTuner. And in national, we work together with, of course, with the national government, with the RDW, with other provinces in the Netherlands, with metropolis and transport regions like Rotterdam, The Hague, Amsterdam, and also with the large 5 cities. And we cooperate, of course, in our own region with businesses, with education, knowledge institutions, and with the extended program team. These are some companies, institutions that we work together with. And well, if I go for a small summary, then our field labs are, first of all, should be safe. We should test always in a safe manner. We want to get exemption of regulations for a restricted area. we want to test continuously with certain boundaries and therefore increase the speed of developments. We want to exchange knowledge and experience, as well as with the companies and institutions that we work together with, as also with, for example, with you. We want to connect the field labs with each other. That can be through the air, like I told you, with drones, but also want to exchange information and knowledge between the field labs. We want a cooperation with the universities in the north of the Netherlands. And we want to apply for national and European calls. These are some items that you will find on our website, what we have done already. We are working on a project of sailing without a skipper, with a bicycle ferry. I will show you after this a short video of a car that reaches 70 kilometers per hour on our test track. We are working on demos and flying with drones. At this moment, I'm on one of the Wadden Islands, and tomorrow we will do a test flight with a cargo drone on this island. We are developing a Hyperloop test center, which will be opened in Groningen in the coming months. And well, in the below you see that we have already done a test ride with passengers with the autonomous train. If you look at the autonomous automatic train operation, it's not autonomous, it's automatic train operation. Then we also investigated the reactions of the passengers, and they were all very excited. They didn't notice anything, so that's a good thing. So that will be experiment will be increased in the coming months. And of course, we also do demonstrations, master classes, and other things on autonomous driving. I hope that this demo will work. I hope you will have the sound. So in this combination, we work together.
Wat bijzonder is dat we een auto autonoom gemaakt hebben, een kleine auto in dit geval. En die auto, daar gaan we mee proberen 80 te rijden. Wat we nu zien is dat autonome auto's vaak nog heel langzaam rijden. Nou, we willen eigenlijk het liefst snel ook kunnen rijden, maar ook niet met iemand erin. Dus we gaan ook zonder iemand in die auto rijden en op afstand die auto besturen. In de zin van, we gaan niet zelf sturen, dat doet die auto zelf, maar wel stoppen en starten.
As you see, the vehicle is autonomous, there's no one in there. And you see that they speed it up.
Het autonoom testen is voor ons heel belangrijk als.
And I will show you a short demonstration of our drone. This is a demonstration of the drone the site of a company in the north of the Netherlands, and they also want to cooperate with us in the development of drone transport. This is our first cargo drone in the Netherlands. It's a very big one. It has a size of 2.5 meters. It can carry up to 15 kilograms. And this drone will be suitable for the first experiments with cargo. This is the one that we will demonstrate tomorrow on one of the Wadden Islands too. So for you, the question, could you be part of our field labs, or could you do something together with us? Well, of course you can. I would like to tell you that please follow us on LinkedIn or on our website. Tomorrow there will be more information. There will be for us it will be big news, and we will publish that on our LinkedIn site and on our own website from @North. And probably that will be something for you too. So please stay tuned. You can follow us, of course, on our website @north.nl. You can mail us at info@north.nl, and you can also connect with us through our LinkedIn page @North. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm looking forward to any questions to be answered.